Swami Chinmayananda teachings. The search for happiness. When a bow is bent and a string is tied, the tension of the string will depend upon the curvature of the bow. But the bow always tries to return to its straight shape, trying to go back to its original nature. In the same way, all living beings, plant, animal, and human, are searching for greater happiness, a larger sense of fulfillment, because that is their true nature. We are essentially divine, infinitely blissful, extremely content. But by shifting our attention away from the divine in us, we act as limited egos, trying to discover a little happiness by possessing the objects of the world. We all think that our happiness depends upon external objects. Thus, we have become willful and voluntary slaves to the world around us. Every one of us, rich or poor, is begging for a little more happiness and satisfaction from the world outside. The more intelligent and technologically developed we become, the more elaborate the arrangements to reach such happiness. Every action from birth to death is a silent search for happiness. This is the urge behind the entire evolutionary process. From unicellular organisms to human beings, this seems to be the pattern that Darwin's evolutionary theory points out. We marry, divorce, and remarry, all for happiness. We will even sacrifice parts of our bodies, a kidney for example, to share it with a friend for happiness. We are not looking for sorrow. We all search for happiness. Presently, we understand that happiness is something to be reached, acquired, or manipulated by changing the circumstances of the world outside. This assumption is not just held by individuals. Communal and national activities everywhere are seeking happiness by trying to rearrange the world of things and beings. Some of us think that we will be happy when we own an expensive car. Others feel that their office is too small and that a larger office will provide happiness. We are never satisfied with what we have. We want to get something more. This is mathematically feasible because the process of addition is always possible. When we get 1,000,000, we want another. One car is not enough, so we get 2 or 3. And so it goes on and on, more of everything. Our entire life is spent searching for happiness but never finding it. Once we get the desired object we struggle so hard for, there is a flash of joy, but the next moment we are again unhappy. All the great saints, sages, and masters of the world who experienced the glory of infinite peace and bliss are people who used a different method, one of subtraction. I'm not saying that we should not have any objects in the world. The objects themselves are not the problem, only our attachment or identification with them. I operate some nursery schools in India, And when the children first come into the school, they all cry. One child cries, and all the other children join in out of consideration for the one who started. And it generally goes in waves. As soon as the class begins, there is crying, then they cry again when the class is over. I was wondering why this happened and asked the headmistress if she needed some more help to look after the children. She said, "No, Swamiji, this only happens for the first 2 weeks. Afterwards, everything will be all right." "How is that?" I asked. The headmistress explained that the children begin to cry the moment their parents leave them. But once the children have played for a while, they forget all about their parents. At the end of the day, the teachers take the toys from the children and put them away. When the children have to give up the toys, they cry again. One child cries and the others join in. The teachers try to console the children, and once their parents arrive, the children become quiet. Within 2 weeks, the same children who are only 2 or 3 years old have learned that the toys they play with every day have to be left behind when they go home. They also know that their parents will return and that the toys will be there to play with the following day. Once they know this, all crying ends. However, we are not like this. Like children, we want various things to play with, but then identify with them saying, "My house, my wife, my children, my money, my investments." If only we could understand that everything that is given to us is to play with for some time, and that when we leave, we will return again to play with the same world of things and beings. Once we have understood this, the fear of death or change is taken away, and we can truly begin to enjoy life. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that we should not have any possessions. Everything has been made by the Lord for us to enjoy. So enjoy, but do not become attached. For when we have attachments, we cannot enjoy. We only suffer. That's why we enjoy going to a friend's house. We have no attachment to it. But when it is our house, we think, "Oh, the wall needs a new coat of paint," or "It would be nice to have better furniture," and so on. There is no enjoyment because of our attachment. By searching for happiness in the world outside and depending on the objects to provide us with that happiness, we become slaves to the world. Learn to discover happiness inside yourself by yourself. If we analyze the psychological nature of human beings, we will see that when the mind is agitated, there is unhappiness. The lesser the agitation, the greater the happiness. The great saints, sages, and prophets renounced everything and without any possessions discovered peace and tranquility. We wonder how it was possible. Jesus roamed in the desert for 20 years on a diet of nothing but bread and water and found happiness. The Buddha, himself a prince, left his kingdom and sat under a tree open to the sun and rain and heat and cold, not knowing where his next meal was coming from, and became emaciated. People from his kingdom visited the place and, recognizing their prince, thought that he had lost his mind. They thought, "Oh Lord, is this justice? Why should he suffer?" But Buddha opened his eyes and said, "My children, you are crazy. You are unhappy. I have discovered the greatest happiness." So, where is happiness? In the mind. If the mind is calm and serene, we discover the Lord of our heart, who is nothing but bliss absolute, total happiness. When there is least agitation in the mind, we have maximum happiness. And when there are no agitations, we enjoy absolute bliss. Conquest of the mind is all that is meant by religion and spirituality. Go beyond the desires of the mind and come to live your own true nature, fully satisfied, extremely content. A desire is only an attempt to fulfill yourself, but you're already fulfilled. Say to yourself, "I want nothing, expect nothing, I am me." Come to this higher state of consciousness, which is called liberation, experience of the divine, the self, happiness.